Started. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good to see you. Happy Monday. I'm pumped up. I've been reading The Obstacle is the Way. I've been listening to it. I mean, if I showed you guys my copy looks like my Bible. It's marked up. There's notes in it everywhere. It's crazy. But man, I hope you guys are enjoying it. And I hope you guys take a few minutes and make sure to drop some messages in all the chats, in the platinum chats, and the diamond chats, and in all the chats. Let everybody know that we are on Mindset Monday, going over part 2 of The Obstacle is the Way. And yeah, we're going to get started in just about a minute here. Not going to take too long, about 30 minutes or so this evening. Got a fun segment to cover. But again, make sure, I'm going to do it myself. Look at that. I'm going to be persistent. I'm going to get on it. And I am going to drop in all of my chats as well. We are on Mindset Monday. Let's grow. Get all these platinums in here. Get all these rock stars in here. Al, I got Al Kieran and I got Candy with me. I got 2 rock stars with me. What's going on, you 2 rock stars? How we doing?
Doing awesome. Life's good.
Yes, it is awesome.
Appreciate you guys being here. They wanted to hop on. They again, like I said, I told you last week, if you want to come on and you want to share a little bit about some of your takeaways from this book, make sure to shoot me an email at Worre, TWORRE @thehappyco.com, and I will make sure that I get you on next week so we can say hi to you. Say hi to you. Want to say hi to everyone? Looks like we got people from all over the place. Oklahoma, Nebraska, Georgia, Pennsylvania. That's where I'm at. We got Minnesota in the house. The Sterlings are here. Good to see you guys. Yep, you got the Kindle version all marked up. Grand Prairie, Texas. Sorry, I'm just reading all these. What's going on? St. Louis is in the house. California is in the house. Good to see all of you guys. Again, send a message. We're going to get started in just 1 minute here. We are going to be going over part 2 of The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Hopefully you guys have been taking part in our weekly book club. Jennifer is doing amazing. For all those that are on baby watch with us, we are about, 2 weeks away, to a little over 2 weeks away till our little boy gets here. We are so excited. It's going to be so awesome for the final piece of the puzzle, lucky number 7, to make his appearance into the world. But yeah, I know everyone's just shaking their heads like we're building a soccer team over here. We're getting to work. But yeah, we got a boy coming. It's super exciting. That'll make 4 girls, 3 boys. So we almost evened it out. I know if we had 1 more, it'd be a boy, but do not tell Jennifer I said that, or I think I probably wouldn't see tomorrow's sunrise. But let's get started. I want to get started, and I want to, you guys, I really want to use this as, I hope you are using this as an interactive platform. I want to use this chat not only as a, fun and great point and great feedback that we're going to get from some of our guests on here, but also drop some of your nuggets, because I'm sure some of the feedback, some of the aha moments you had might cause an aha moment for someone else on the call. So I want to make sure that we are sharing our knowledge on here, that we are coming together as a family and sharing our information together. So I'm not going to cover all the parts of part 2 this evening, but I want to first, I'm going to kick it to Al, then to Candy. I want to get your guys' take. Tell me your feedback on chapter 2 before we get started.
Well, I mean, you had a bunch of points. Maybe what you want to do is go ahead and have us address each of those points so we don't go ahead and stumble all over each other.
For sure. So the first one, I want to talk about the really at the start of this chapter is all about action. This chapter is all about action. So the first chapter was really all about getting in the mindset. It was all about perception. It was all about getting your mind right to go into action. So part 2 is all about action. The first piece I really wanted to touch on was get moving. I love this part, get moving. And Al, give me some of your takeaways from the get moving piece of this chapter.
Sure, sure. Well, we've heard a long time ago, beginning is half done. I was on a call this morning with a team call, and we were talking about that thing is that, the obstacle, whatever it is, that's freezing us up, that's paralyzing us, on the opposite side of that is everything we want. And what we don't do oftentimes is we don't break it down into a simplistic form about what is it that we have to do. And I mean, we've heard a lot of good things from different people in my group. I know that are saying, hey, if I just text 20 times a day, I can do 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, 10 in the evening. And anyone can text, anyone can private message people. And what happens is when we do that, beginning is half done. As soon as we get into activity, forget about the fear. We get ourselves so we're not paralyzed anymore.
I couldn't agree more, Al. I think it's super important. I think that the idea of just getting started, whatever it is, I think that there's a great quote that says, a good plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. And I think as network marketers, we consistently get stuck in that I'm only ready to move when it's perfect. I only want to make the call when I feel like I got the words right. I only want to make the text when I feel like I've got the objections or I know my upline is available. I only want to move if I know I've got someone standing right next to me. And so I think that step of just get moving. Yes, it's going to be a little scary, but yes, it's in your best interest. Candy, what was your feedback on the get moving piece?
Well, the get ready to get ready is the big thing. And we actually had the talk recently about that with some team members. And I've set goals where if I want to do something outside, I have to do 10 messages, to new prospects to then do this. So it's getting that. I want to move here, right? So I need to do this to do this. And so it's the sense of, I'm going to give 2 hours, let's say, but you don't have to sit and do it for 2 hours. Give 20 minutes and go out and take a walk out here. Then do another 20 minutes of this. And then, go play with the grandkids or whatever it is. So setting those out and just the same thing, get moving, just do it every day, just do it. So, yeah.
What I take from that is really being intentional with your time.
Yes.
Really being intentional with your time. So that time that you dedicate to your income producing activity is time that's untouchable, because again, this is a business, and we as a whole, what have we decided as a company? We're not going to be treating this like a hobby anymore. This is a business. We're going to treat it like a business. That doesn't mean that you're going full time and you have to give it 40 hours a week. It just means that with whatever 1 hour a week you give it, that 1 hour is delivered with professionalism. It's not delivered with a, hey, I'm doing this thing. It's no, I am creating my future. And I see beauty and I see hope here. And so I think that it's really important that you're intentional with that time. And I love that you're teaching that to your team. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was practicing persistence. I loved this piece. It was right after Get Moving. And I think every part of this flows in such a great cadence. But Al, tell me a little bit about what you took away from practicing persistence.
Well, here's the thing. When I first got started in relationship marketing eons ago, it was the kind of thing where I learned, I'll just tell you, I went ahead and was actively in the business every day for over a year and a half. I only missed 4 days, Thanksgiving and Christmas. I missed 2 days. Now, I would never recommend doing that ever again, but it taught me something. And that was what was totally unachievable at that time in that particular company became achievable to me because I wanted it that bad. Okay. And I was so persistent. Now I use a little bit more common sense. I go ahead and still believe in achieving the unachievable, because I think when you set high goals, if you set little goals, to be honest with you, they don't motivate you, they don't excite you, and therefore you don't run with them. But I think for me, it's real simple. The people that start real fast and then stop, and then start real fast, they have to keep doing it over and over again. I just believe if you chip away at this thing here and you do something significant every day in your business, then you'll have it. You'll have a great business.
100% agree. Candy, what are your thoughts?
100%. Daily method of operation. Every single day, do something for your business. And I just recently retired from my job earlier than I wanted, but very thankful I can because of this business. But I got up extra early in the morning to get those things done because this is how it works. So we set the time. We all have time. We all have 24 hours in a day. So how is it important to you? We get paid very, very well. So you do it as a hobby, get paid as a hobby, right? So every day, do it every day, and it will grow, and it'll grow, and it'll grow.
Yeah,
So
consistency is key. That's what I keep coming back to, right? It's just all about consistency. You know, we used to use the analogy back in the day that, look, if you sleep for 8 hours a day and you work for 8 hours a day, how many hours does that leave you with? Another 8 hours, full 8 hours that you can put into your fortune. Say that you spend half of that time with your family. It's 4 hours with your family a day. That's a lot of dedicated family time. If you're really dedicating it to your family, you're going to be like, okay, I'm good. We played enough. Been on the trampoline. My legs are done. But you know, right. It's like that's a good, I mean, and that's a lot of people don't spend 4 hours a day with their family right now.
No.
And then that includes 2 hours. Say you do 2 hours of commuting to your job, an hour there and an hour back. That still leaves you with 2 hours a day to be putting into your business. Now, it really comes down to the decision. What's more important, Netflix or your future? What's more important, going to the bar or your future? What's more important, hanging out with friends or your future? And so that's the personal question that we're going through with this Mindset Monday of where are you at right now? Because if you're comfortable, you're here to be shaken up a little bit. And that's my hope, is that you're getting shaken up a little bit. That you're getting shaken up a little bit, that this might be stinging a little bit. And you're going, yeah, I'm sitting here. Netflix is on the TV right now while I'm watching this. I'm like waiting for it to get done so I can get back to my show. Maybe I could put an hour into my business before I go to bed. Just a thought. So I really like that. And the other thing in practicing persistence is a lot of people, like Al said, like to do this big, I'm going to give this 50 hours a week. No, you're not. Stop it. You might give it 50 hours a week for a week, but that is wildly unrealistic and it's not consistent. Nor is your team going to be able to put forth that effort if that's kind of what you're showing is like, you know, you have to be full-time in order to make this a success. The reality is whatever those hours are that you can put towards this business. I love a 90-day run, but fit the 90-day run into extending your already consistent hours. So whatever those hours are for you, where I work 5 hours a week in my business, 10 hours a week in my business, 2 hours a day in my business, whatever it is, when you go on a 90-day run, maybe you're just saying that instead of 2 hours, I'm doing 3 hours. I'm adding a little bit on there. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit, a notch. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're gonna work 9 hours a day in your business, because it's not duplicatable and it's not consistent long-term. What we want is consistency. Practicing persistence is where I believe, again, you get moving, you practice persistence, you're gonna start to see some amazing results. The next thing, follow the process. Candy, tell me your thoughts on following the process.
Follow the process. Well, don't reinvent the wheel. Follow the process, right? The basic of when we've like been on your calls and, you know, we'll get off, and I love it when my team will say, man, I know you've said that 7 times, but I just heard it again and let's go, right? Why am I reinventing this, you know, wheel? And I had a conversation today with somebody who goes, I get it, add, take, message. We've heard that. And look what's working, add, take, message. So, you know, keep to the basis. And I wanted to add a little bit about what you just talked about is pick your time you're going to spend. And if you can do more on that, do more on that day. Maybe we always say Tuesday night, we don't have Zooms on Tuesday night. So that half an hour, we would usually be on a Zoom for Mindset or What's Up Weekly or whatever. Do another half an hour of business. Do it, but set your time. If you're going to do 2 hours, do 2 hours a day. If you can do 5 hours one day, fabulous, but do 2 hours every single day. 100%. And so, and don't, reinvent reinvent that wheel, keep to your process, look, and listen. And, I don't know. I just am all about consistency on anything.
And that's the biggest thing is following the process. Again, we want to get right back to what have we been focusing on? Leading with the opportunity, following up with the product. So following the process that works. Again, what do we keep asking? And we're going to get into it here. What's right is what works. I mean, this we're going to get into it in a minute, but again, this is really, I challenge everyone that if you are not where you want to be in your business right now, then it's time to change things up. If you've been focusing on certain things, if you've been focusing on product first, this is time to follow a different road, maybe take a different path and try it. That doesn't mean that you're adopting it as all you're ever going to do in your business. It's just saying that, hey, I'm really good at getting customers. I'm really, really good at sharing about these products. I'm really great at it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flex a new muscle. And guess what? When I flex that muscle for the first time, like me downstairs doing lunges, after 10 of them, I'm going to be like, nope, I'm done. Game over. That was not worth it. I don't need to do that anymore. Anyone else decide to do some lunges or some like leg workout, something during quarantine? They're like, oh, I'm going to go work out. Okay, yeah, me, sure. Okay, yeah. Nope, not doing that. At the end of the day, what I realized, lunges, not for me, but it's a new muscle. It's a muscle that has not been flexed, not been worked out for a long time. So when you work it out, it's going to be what? It's going to be really sore. It's going to feel uncomfortable. Your body's going to tell you to stop. A lot of that is going to happen when you decide to change things up and try to flex a new mindset muscle when it comes to building your business. Al, tell me your thoughts on following the process.
Well, here's the thing. If you got a process that's working, okay, then man, don't stop it. Continue. But if you're not getting where you want to go, that's the definition of being an idiot, I believe. The bottom line is you ought to change it up. And here's the thing, something you guys have done a terrific job on. You put a lot of money on the table. There's a lot of money on the table. And I think a lot of people, I have a couple that were just touring around Oregon, okay? And they're talking about their gas bill was $400 for the 6 days you're gone. I mean, it's crazy. And I think for the first time, people are recognizing gas costs a lot of money. There's a lot of things, that inflation, I forget who put on the thing about the inflation, an extra $400 a month. I think that's real. I think it's all of that, if not more. And so I think what amounts to is having a good question to start off with people, getting in that process where you have conversations that are meaningful can really come around the money thing. And then, of course, the other thing that I love is, if you have that, if you're starting them off on a business thing, all you want them to do is find a product they love that they'll talk about forever and never come off of. And here's the worst part. We say one product, $100 a month or whatever else, pretty soon we got all these different products that we don't want to ever do without them. So we better make some money so we can go ahead and afford our habit. I mean, it's that good. So the process, if the process is working, do it. If it's not, borrow someone's that is and do theirs, because you check with your up team, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that what you're going to see from us coming forward as a company is a very much unified message. Al and Candy are both going to be a part of that message going forward, that you're going to see a message of unity coming from the top all the way down throughout the entire company, where there's going to be one message, one family, one company, one organization that we are all going to represent. And yes, we have all of our fun teams inside of that. And I love the team unity, and I love the camaraderie of your organizations. I love that. But at the end of the day, they're all going to be umbrellas under one family, and it's all going to be us together. And that's what I love. And we're all going to be singing the exact same song. The next piece I wanted to cover, and I love this so much, is do your job and do it right. Al, tell me about your thoughts on this piece. Do your job and do it right. Actually, let me say something first, because there was a part of this chapter that I want to preface. And there's a very specific message that I want to get your feedback on this. But in the very beginning of this chapter, they talk about a couple different presidents that were actually chastised a little bit as they were walking around because of their background before they became a president. One was a tailor in an earlier part of his life. And when someone said, oh, you used to be a tailor, he said, yeah, but you know what? When I was known as a really good tailor. I was known as someone that was really good at my job. And that's something, it hit me in the head. And you know what? It hit me. A lot of people, a lot of you on here might be a star. You might be a bronze. You might be a silver. And you might have dreams for a higher goal. And there might be someone out there saying, oh, I thought that you said there was so much money to be made here. It looks like you're still not making any money. And I think that it's so important. If you're going to be a star, be the best star. If you're going to be a bronze, be the best bronze in the company. If you're going to be a silver, be the best silver we got. Like, own that title, own that. Say, I am a star with this company. I am a shining star within this company. I am a bronze leader within this company. Do you know what that does? That brings in $25,000 of volume a year. That's huge. And so start owning what it is and where it is that you're at. That doesn't mean that you're settling. It doesn't mean that you're just okay there for forever, but it also doesn't mean that you're going to beat yourself up or allow someone outside to try and tell you what your future looks like, because you might not have achieved your overall goal yet. And so I think it's very, very important that what you're doing, do your job and do it right. Take that chapter and wrap it into that mentality of where you are, love where you are, be the best at where you are. Again, that doesn't mean you settle, but it means that you own where you are and you love it as you go on to the next chapter. So with that, Al, tell me a little bit more about your thoughts on this chapter.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody that's on this call, everybody that's involved with the Happy Co, you've got greatness inside of you. You have greatness inside of you. The question is, have you shared it with anybody? Okay. And here's what I would tell you, people that say, well, how far have you come along? I agree with you 100%, Taylor. You gotta claim what you have. But here's what I tell people. When I went to college, they did not give me my degree on my first year or my first term. I think I maybe go 5 years. I could be wrong. Okay. But here's the thing. We don't get our diploma necessarily right on deal. The key thing is we're going to get our diploma. And that mindset has got to be resolute. We've got to be so determined that we're going to get there, that facts, I always tell people, facts don't really matter. Okay. And here's the other thing. You can base your entire business on the strengths you have. And I've had people say, well, every year I try and work on stuff that I'm no good at. I tell them, forget that stuff. Work on your strengths, because you can run with your strengths. And in my opinion, what you want to do here is you want to say, you know what? It could be as base as this. Taylor, I'm a good person. I'm a good human being. The one thing you can count on, if I give you my word, you can count on it, and we can go to the bank with that. We could be unstoppable together.
I love that. And all I could think of when you're saying that is my father, my whole childhood, would always tell me 10,000 hours, Taylor, 10,000 hours before anyone can call themselves a professional at anything. And I just love that as this form of entrepreneurship, we get paid while we put our 10,000 hours in. And our 10,000 hours is all in a form of personal development, is all in a form of mindset work. What you're doing right now, you're putting your 10,000 hours in. You're doing the work right now, because guess what? You can't spend 10,000 hours learning this compensation plan. And you can't spend 10,000 hours learning all of our products and ingredients. You can spend about an hour doing that. But what are you going to do for the other 99,999 hours? It's a lot of hours. I wish 100,000 hours, so it's way too many hours. But all that to say is too many nines in there. But all that to say is, again, there's a lot of time, and most of the work that we're doing here is all put into mindset. So Al, I love that. It's all about getting started and owning where you're at. Candy, tell me your thoughts on doing the job and doing it right.
Yes, owning where you're at. And I hate hearing, I only got one customer. You got one customer. Freaking cheer that.
Yes.
One leads to two. Oh, I've only hit star. You hit star. You listen, I'll say this over and over again. Rank does not mean anything, because I wouldn't be where I'm at without who I have under me. People that just got one customer. You are the reason I'm where I am. So be proud of that. I shout it. Till this day, I got a new customer today. It excites me. I got a new brand partner today. It should excite you, and be happy and excited about that, because that's where more comes and more grows. And whenever somebody says that on a call, I'll look at them and they'll just say, oh no. And I'm like, that's right. I didn't just get one. I got a new customer this month. Yes, you did. And you rocked it, and you're helping them change their life. Now you're going to get a brand partner. It's all in that, and know that it's there. I think that's the whole thing, is being the best brand partner you can be, the star, the bronze, the silver. It doesn't matter. Just be the best you can, and you will grow from there. Just remember that what you're doing is important, please. So
yes. This goes back to, on a bigger overarching scale, it goes back to the I am statements that we talked about a few weeks back. If you are speaking greatness into yourself, when you have some of these little wins,
yes,
you will celebrate them more. Candy is in an excellent example of always celebrating, speaking greatness into her team and herself. When she has something great happen, she's the first person to be like, yes, like, I got a new brand partner. I got a new customer. She is filled with joy. She's filled with excitement. And you know what that tells me? is that she's actually doing the job of solving problems for others, because you only get that kind of joy and excitement when there is no ulterior motive. You only get that joy and excitement when you're not looking for the get you gotcha at the end of it for you to get something. That enjoyment and excitement that comes when you have genuinely solved a problem in someone's life, when you have forgotten about yourself for a moment and you focused on another human being. And because of that focus, that human being has decided to open up to you and share a problem with you. And because of your respect and love for that human being, when they shared that problem, you genuinely and lovingly gave them a solution to what it is that they were dealing with. And they took that solution. And what a joyous moment when your friend or someone in your life decides to take that solution that you presented. But all the work has to come, and Candy is an excellent expert at that, like Al is as well, of doing the work necessary to getting to that point where you can solve that problem. And that's what I want to get to the next piece is what's right is what works. I love this part of the book. What's right is what works. Al, tell me a little bit about your thoughts on this.
Well, here's the thing. Let's say that you're working your process and you realize that, okay, I'm contacting or I'm putting out private messages, texting people, whatever else, and you do 20 a day and you're having 3 meaningful conversations. Man, I want to tell you something. Just get out your calculator. If you you can lead anyone if you're willing to do it yourself. It's hard for people to follow someone that's not doing anything. I mean, if for instance, Taylor, if you said, listen, I'd like to drive over with you across the country from the East Coast to the West Coast. I don't know why you'd want to do it, but you'd want to do it. But here's the thing. You got 3 flats. If you got 3 flats, we're not getting in your car. Okay. And my whole point is just this. People want to go in something that's going in motion. And here's the thing. You can be in motion by your activity, but pretty soon you'll have, if your activity is right, then what will happen is you'll also have results. You'll also have things that are saying, man, I got this person and this person and now they're doing this and this and this. And so what I really truly believe is just this, do corrective surgery. Corrective surgery. If something's not working for you, get advice from your up team. Get advice from people that are making it happen, because here's what I do believe. This company here is the right company at the right time for the people that are on this call here. And we can decide to make it a great company, or we can go ahead and just say, well, all the excuses and all that crap. See, here's what amounts to is, and I made a list of this years ago. I had people come up with excuses. Finally, I got tired of all their excuses. I said, listen, that's 99. I made a list of 100. That's 23. Just say 23. If you'll buy into it, I'll buy into it. If you'll accept your excuse, hallelujah. I don't accept excuses from myself. I don't accept excuses from other people, because what amounts to is people want to win. And my job is to help them win. And that's to lift them up. Candy, to your point there, celebrate the wins. Lift other people up.
100%. Candy, tell me your thoughts on this thought. I've got some thoughts on this, but what's right is what works. What are your thoughts?
Well, first off, excuses only sound as good to the person that's saying them. And that's something we share too. And I love that. When I don't want the excuse, I'm saying, hey, that's, the thing, but what's right works. If what you're doing is working, like you said, you're on the right thing, that's great. And you're getting results, you're having conversations, you have products, you're signing up brand partners, duplicate, keep it going. But if it's not, that's when you have to be teachable. You have to get ready to hear the truth, saying, listen, I need help. And be truthful. You guys have to be truthful. Don't say, I am doing that all day long. Be truthful. If you looked in the mirror today right now and said, if you signed yourself up today, would your business grow or would it stay stagnant? And if it would grow, then great. Then you're being truthful, but you're truthful to yourself. So if you are saying, listen, no, probably 5 times I don't do this, 2 times I don't do this, then there's a way to grow that and you will grow and be teachable. So what's right? Working on it, you're doing it, you're going to see stuff. But if it's not, you got to be honest. You've got to reach out and you got to switch it.
Yep.
So
I think what my father would always teach this to me when I was younger. And again, back when I had to fax in my new brand partner, my new distributor forms. And so that's when I was building, is we had to fax things in. But all that to say is my father would always tell me to audit my business. He would say, audit your business, son. He would say that if you're going out, if you were running this business, say you owned this business, which you do, you just don't look at it that way for some reason. This is your business and you own it. You're getting a 1099 as an independent business owner every single year. You get the tax write-offs, all the tax breaks, all the benefits. You get all that stuff. So you are an independent business owner. But just for a minute, imagine that they have to go, this is yours. It's your baby. It's your company. And you were going out to build it. Would you just call like 100 people straight without doing any audit of what you're saying or how you're doing things? Or would you stop and would you audit things? If you weren't getting results, would you keep making calls if you weren't getting results? But sometimes we take that as our opportunity for an out. You take that as an excuse to say, you know what, it's not for me. I called 100 people, not one of them was interested. And so you know what, it's just my people aren't into it. You know what, it's not for me. What my father would always teach me is make 10 phone calls and audit. Jim Rohn would do the same thing. If you get 0 out of 10, your first 10, you write that down. I got 0 out of 10. I got to go plan, do a review. I got to go adjust a little bit. I might need to go, I might need to go change things up in my presentation. I might need to switch up how I'm saying things. I might need to go back and build the relationship a little bit stronger. Then with this next 10, I'm going to do a little bit differently and I'm going to measure my results. The next 10, maybe you get 1 customer out of 10. And you're like, well, that's better than 0 out of 10, but it's still not where I want to be. So I'm going to adjust it a little bit more. I got a little bit better, but I'm going to go change it a little bit. I'm going to go adjust. And yes, you can use your upline for this, but a lot of the time, you guys, this is just very cognizant awareness. This is just saying, you know what? I spoke way too much. You know what you're doing wrong. You don't need to be told by your upline what you're doing wrong. And they're not your therapist. At the end of the day, you just need to identify and say, you know what? I know after those 10 calls, the average call was about 25 minutes long. I can't expect to have success if every call I'm explaining the entire opportunity and all the products to everyone I'm talking to. I need to be a little bit more urgent. I need to say a little bit less. And so you shorten it down a little bit and you plan to review. I think it's very, very important because again, what's right is what works and what works is what's simple and what's simple is what duplicates. Absolutely. That's all there really is to that. And so the last 2 pieces I want to touch on, use your obstacles against themselves. This is probably one of my favorite things to do in life in general. But within network marketing, I think this is so strong. And so Candy, tell me your thoughts a little bit on using obstacles against themselves.
Well, obstacles. So for my obstacle, I had a baby very young at 16. I finished my sophomore year of high school and had my son. So of course people are like, what's going to happen? I was going to go to a 4-year university. I already set it up to actually go to the University of Oregon, go Ducks. And, but then time had to change. I know, let's do this. And I live in Washington. So anyways, things had to change, right? So I'd use the obstacle to say, now what? So I homeschooled for 2 years and got my diploma a year early. All my friends were seniors. And while they were seniors, I went to night school to get my business degree while I raised my son and still pursued and did, you know what I mean? There was obstacles jumped, but I'm like, okay, now I have to take a right instead of going this way, but I'm going to still reach my goal. Now I'm going to take a left because that didn't work, and nothing, the obstacle is, I guess, how you perceive it, I guess you'd say. Is it an obstacle or is it just something to say, well, now I'm going to have to take this as a different step, or I might have to do 2 things before I can go to that next jump. And, I've been married almost 25 years. I've, supported my son. Everything's great, but it wasn't the road I first picked because I had some obstacles on the way, but I surely reached what I wanted in life and what my dream was in life because I consistently went and I pursued through my obstacles. So don't stop. There's always a way to get around them. I believe that 110%. So I'm living proof of it. So
yeah, I think Candy is a human being that I believe has been turning obstacles into opportunities for most of her life. I think that she is someone that, but again, it is a mindset. This is why I asked her, I wanted her to be here so bad to share some of her input because again, she really is someone that has consistently throughout life, just from me getting to know her. is someone that will turn every obstacle into an opportunity. And I think that that is so important in what it is that we do, that we are consistent. And I want to talk a little bit about some other things there, but Al, tell me how you perceived using obstacles against themselves when you read this part.
Well, here's the thing. Our rock, whatever it is what we call our obstacle. Okay. I always tell people, if you're going out in the middle of the lake and you're carrying your garbage, your rock with you, but if you hang on to your rock, you're going to drown, or you can let it go. And I tell people all the time, you got to let it go, because here's the thing. The obstacle, when Jan and I started in the business, we're country bumpkins. Okay. We didn't know anything. Okay. But you know what? We learned, and we studied it. We studied 5 of the very best in the world in this industry. We studied them, and we got better, and we worked. And you know what? We didn't care, because the facts didn't matter to us. We were going to go to the top. And so it didn't matter that, as a matter of fact, okay, just a quick back. When somebody said, in this largest company in the history of network marketing, so I'm not saying any names here, they said you couldn't go this fast. I did it. Jan and I did it. But we didn't do it alone. We had to take a bunch of other people with us. And you know what? That was when I realized it wasn't about me. It was the joy of taking other people to the top with me that became the fulfilling part of relationship marketing for all these years. I love what I do. And these obstacles that we have, man, the best thing you do is get them out there, clearly put them out there, and then decide that they don't count, they don't matter, and I'm going to work around them. I'm going to blow them up. I'm going to go over the top, whatever you have to do, because you know what? When you hear about a guy that climbed Mount Everest and he is blind, and you hear some of the different stories that are in the book. All of a sudden, Clooney. Who knew Clooney got turned down a bunch of times? But as you read the book, you hear that he got turned down a bunch of times. Here's the thing. I would have never thought that. But here's the beautiful thing about it. Clooney didn't care. He figured it out.
He used the obstacles and turned them against themselves. That's what I love. I think that the book really showcases that there's not a single human being in any form of business or celebrity or anything like that has not had to overcome some pretty insurmountable obstacles in order to get there and to stay there. And so I think that it is what I took using obstacles against themselves for me is I took it as a sense of empowerment, almost like putting on a suit of armor. What is your biggest obstacle? No, rejection. What is your biggest obstacle? Put it in the chat. What's your biggest obstacle? Time. What's your biggest obstacle? Network. Need a bigger network, more people to talk to. Myself, motivation, time management. Yep. Again, participate. Put this in the chat. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Put what is your biggest obstacle that you're facing? Mainly so that everyone else can see that, number one, you're not alone, that there's a lot of people out there just like you. Because what do we fear all the time? That we're alone. I'm the only one dealing with this. I'm the only one dealing. This is me, as I'm on an island by myself and I'm so frustrated. Everyone else seems to be doing great. Everyone on this chat's putting in hearts and happiness and love. And I'm sitting over here frustrated, trying to get out of this rut in my head. Yes.
Yeah, let's face it, Taylor, our own worst enemy is ours. I always tell people, I said, the biggest distance you ever have to travel in this life here to be successful in relationship marketing is from this earlobe to this earlobe. I have a small head, so I had to travel less. Okay. But the reality is as soon as you conquer this, you got it all.
Yep.
But you got to conquer that.
Yep.
What I love about this is using, how you use this obstacle. If you said myself is my biggest obstacle, do you know what you just did? You just conquered it. By expressing it. You know what a fear is? A fear is something you keep hidden. A fear is something you keep quiet. A fear is something you keep, tucked away. When you express it, it becomes a little bit less fearful. When other people express the same thing, it immediately starts to dissipate. You start to go, you know what? Yes, yes, yes. I knew I wasn't. Yes, yes, there's more people. Yes, yes. I think this is so important. Use your obstacles against themselves. Once you vocalize them, they can no longer hold power over you.
It's true.
The last piece I want to speak on this evening And I love this piece because when you accept this piece, you legitimately become bulletproof. You become untouchable. It's a scary piece to accept, but man, I'll tell you what, all of the greats have accepted it. Erica Jordan said this earlier, and I love this. The best are just better at the basics. She said in the chat, I love that. But this is the last part I wanted to cover. Prepare for none of it to work. Prepare for your team to go. Prepare for everyone to leave. Prepare for all things. Prepare. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but it means that you are mentally prepared. So that if anything ever does come, it is not a tsunami wave off course. Prepare for none of it to work. Al, what did you take from that part?
Well, what's interesting is we can only control what we can control.
Yes.
But if we control what we can control, in this case, we have a company. I mean, I know that things change. Sometimes things go up and down and all that kind of stuff. Here's the thing. I don't have to change at all. All I have to do is adapt to the change. And see, for me, what I really love about it is that this company is built to be a company that becomes a giant. And all we have to do is decide that in our little pea brains at time, decide that we're not going to procrastinate, that we're not going to go ahead and look at our past medals and honors and all that kind of stuff. We're actually going to go out there and decide to let that greatness that abides inside of every single one on this call and turn it loose and do good for the world.
100%. Al, I appreciate all your wisdom this evening, brother. And Candy, tell me a little bit about what you took from this. Prepare for none of it to work.
Well, just that starts with us, right? Us. It's all on us. And number one, are you taking your products consistently? That's number one. You got to be a product of the product and do your stuff. And like Al just said, adapt. So when something switches, maybe there's a change from retail to SmartShip, which I loved that change because SmartShip stayed the same. We benefit from that, right? We share the positive, not, well, by the way, retail went up. No, guess what? Now SmartShip stayed the same. You say whatever, we adapt to it. We adapt. So keep out, do the same products, share connections, conversations. It'll happen. You got to do it daily, guys. I promise you that. We have an amazing team here, amazing company here. I am blessed to be here. I'm so grounded here. It's not even funny. I just renewed. Thank you for that renewal. Awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
In the world. Bomb. I'm just sharing, but
the auto renewal.
Yes, 4 years here, and I have no desire to leave or go anywhere else because this is where it's at. So you are in the right place, guys. At the right
you're
time.
Amazing.
We're going to the
but
top.
I love that you said there is control what you can control.
Yep.
It reminds me of, I don't want to whatever, but the serenity prayer comes to mind, which is stated very simply, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I think there's so much power in that statement.
Yep.
So much power in that statement. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Can you change? Can you control any single human being on your team? The answer to that question is no. What can you control? Your auto ship, making sure that you're a product of the product, making sure that you're leading with love, making sure that you're consistent, making sure that you create action where action wouldn't otherwise be created, making sure that you lead with a no ulterior motive. But again, the wisdom, yes, Tamara, the wisdom to know the difference. That is mindset at its ultimate peak. What the highest form that we could ever look to achieve is that prayer in its entirety, is to be able to fully only have to accept that of which we can control, to be able to have serenity and to be able to release that which we cannot control, and to have the wisdom to know the difference between the two.
Right on.
Controlling what you can control and preparing for none of it to work. Again, does that mean that we are saying that none of it's going to work? No. But once we prepare for none of it to work, we are physically bulletproof. Nothing can touch us because when it doesn't work, we were prepared for it. Become prepared. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. Al, Candy, I am so thankful for, I could not have asked for more value and more wisdom out of each of you this evening. Everyone dropped some serious love in the chat for each one of these rock stars. I appreciate you both more than you know. Part 3 next week, we are going to be getting into on will. So the will to move forward. I am so excited to get into this with each and every one of you. And I hope that you are staying along with us and following. This is the final part of the book. So it's very easy. Like I said, we will finalize this book and then we will announce what our next book will be for the month of July. But Al, if you have any final announcements.
Yeah, just for a second here, Taylor, this is important what we're doing here. Doing a 1 book per month as a team of people with the Happy Co, we're going to grow together. We're going to get better. And I got to be honest with you, I did my abstract one. I had the 1-page abstract that I took, and then that wasn't enough. And then I did the audio, and now I got the download so I could read it. I'll tell you something, there's a lot of meat in this book here, guys. Do not sell it short. Get your team on it and get your team engaged with the idea we're going to learn together, because if we learn together, we're going to get better together.
100%.
Thanks,
We're one team, one dream. That's what we all have, the same dream. That's why we're here. Let's do this. I'm excited. I love
I
it.
appreciate you guys. And I hope that you've been taking notes. I have like every one of these calls. I've got like 7 pages of notes from the last 2 weeks of these calls. I am not just here to chat with you guys. I am here to learn with you guys. I am listening to everything that you're saying in the chats. I appreciate your inclusion. I appreciate all of your comments and all of your love and your support. Until we see you on What's Up Weekly this week, which make sure to let your teams know we have got some amazing updates on What's Up Weekly. You are not going to want to miss them. And so make sure you're tuned in on Wednesday. Until we see you then, God bless each and every one of you. Stay safe and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.